We found a spot about 45 minutes after we finished the track yesterday with a pretty spectacular view of Cathedral Rock. And today we're going to do the next track, which goes up to almost 3,000 metres. So it's going to get pretty high. I'm assuming we're going to be pretty low on power, but we're just going to take it steady, hopefully finish the track today, and then we're going to start heading down south towards the desert. Just driven that family probably about 7 or 8 miles up the track, and they were just waiting on the side of the road, but we haven't passed another car in a long time, so I don't know how long they would have been waiting, but they've obviously walked a fair amount anyway. We're at over 8,000 feet now, so it's quite a tough walk.
They did seem quite nervous, didn't they? Like a little bit wary of us at the start. I suppose they don't really get many tourists coming through here, so they're just not used to it. But they did relax a little bit once I given the baby a bit of a food and given the mum some chocolate. But yeah, really cool experience, and just cool to bump into people this remote.
Didn't enjoy that much. This was obviously part of the road at one point, and so much of it has fallen away, so I was quite hairy. I was obviously worried about falling in here, and then obviously worried about the sidewalls as well. But we got through, slowly and steadily.
It probably doesn't look that bad on camera, but there's some really jagged rocks embedded here on this side of the track, and trying to avoid those on the side wall of your tyres, even if they're BF Goodrich, is tricky, while worrying that the weight of the vehicle is going to make this side collapse. It's pretty loose and unconsolidated.
The next part of the track goes up that ridge, and we've got a little map here that shows us the kind of climb we're doing, and it's the steepest part of this track. It looks pretty loose. We're going to take it nice and slowly.
Over a bit. You definitely feel a bit nervous on a track like that. You feel okay with the second Land Rover. It's if something happens, if your steering box lets go or your head gasket goes up here, you can't call the AA. It's a long way from home. But it was a fantastic track. I really enjoyed it.
Definitely felt more secure with Moose here as well.
Yeah.
been past loads and loads of small villages, and the second anyone hears the engines, these children come running out to the road really, really quickly, and they're asking for food and maybe a little bit of money. We've given away all of our sweets and biscuits and a lot of our food, but it's just constant. They just keep coming up to the side of the Land Rover, and then some of them are picking up rocks and threatening to throw the rocks if we don't give them anything, and then cursing at us if we don't. It's quite upsetting really, because obviously we'd want to give them what we can, but we've given away pretty much everything we have at this point. And obviously out here it's so remote, it must be a really difficult life. Obviously there's only so much we can do. Yeah, just quite difficult really.
And you know, it hasn't all been bad experiences. Some of the places we've gone through, people have ran down to the road and they've, you know, been really excited to see us and genuinely quite interested, I suppose, because they don't have many people passing through here. But yeah, it's just those few kind of settlements where it's been a little bit hostile.
Ground, that's what I normally do.
We've got about an hour left of the track. The next hour I think goes up to the highest point, which I think is just under 3,000 metres, so again just under 10,000 feet.
We've just started our final ascent of this track. I think we're going to get up to nearly 10,000 feet, which is slightly annoying, just under 10,000. But yeah, really looking forward to getting to the top.
We've lost quite a lot of power now, it's quite noticeable in low. The yak is struggling quite a bit. We're almost at the summit now. I don't know how true this is, but I read somewhere that for every 1,000 feet you climb, you lose about 5 horsepower. So we're at about 9,000 feet, so we've lost potentially almost 45 horsepower, which is not far off half what we've got anyway. Made it to 2,990 metres, which is about 60 feet short of 10,000, so we've walked the rest.
Another 25 feet and then you're going to turn. And the other back tyre. My first attempt at the slope, I just got as far as I could for fun, and it's loose, unconsolidated rock. Our tyre pressures aren't quite low enough, but I got a fair way up. It started to scrabble, so stopped. And then I went for the classic controlled, failed hill climb technique of diff lock, engine off, let the handbrake off, and bump start in reverse so it engages the reverse and diff lock. And I just didn't get it right, and I just freewheeled down the hill, which was not very nice. You've got to keep it straight. So it was textbook how not to do it. And then we've gone up this way, got as far as we could, and you start scrabbling and digging in, so you have to stop. We had our diff locks engaged, but it was a little bit sketchy, and turning on a steep slope at this altitude, when your brakes are already a bit cooked, you don't want to be using your brakes, but you have to because it's so steep. The gearing doesn't hold it quite enough, so it felt a bit sketchy, but we're all okay, and it was a proper adventure.
Well done.
At 10,000 feet.
Doing all right, Mum?
It was one of those moments where I didn't really think about what I was doing. I just sort of did it. You weren't particularly happy with me, were you, really? It was silly. We should have reversed that really, because then you could have had more control coming back down. But
that is what Mum suggested.
Yeah, but we're safe now, so it's all good.
Made it to the highest bit. Woo!
The views we've had on these tracks over the last couple of days have just been absolutely staggering. The track's really cut through the heart of the Atlas, and I really feel like we've got to know the area a lot. overlanding with a Land Rover or any capable four-wheel drive, you really get to see a part of the country that you just wouldn't be able to without. Over to do our tyre pressures, and we had some lunch as well. It's a really nice tagine. We're now heading to Dades Gorge. We've got a big minibus coming our way, and I don't know if there's a passing place for us to get past them, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
We don't have a lot of room.
I was wondering what was going to happen if we met someone.
That was interesting. Got a couple of hitchhikers on the roof. They've been up there for about half an hour now. We're not sure how far they want to go, but it would have been a really long walk for them. Hope it's not too bumpy as well. Stayed in an actual campsite last night, which felt very luxurious, and I washed my hair for the first time in 10 days, so feeling fresh and looking forward to exploring Todra Gorge later today.
Every town we've gone through has been like a ghost town because everyone's inside because they're all sensible.
So I think the plan now is to head to Gorges and find somewhere to camp, somewhere with a pool hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Because I just don't think it would be wise to go into the dunes and actually camp tonight. We did think about it, but it's just so hot and the temperature hardly drops overnight, so I just don't think it would be the most sensible thing to do. So I think what we'll do is go to this campsite tonight, and then early in the morning we'll get up before it gets too hot again, and then head into the dunes then. Found a really nice campsite to stay in tonight on the outskirts of Mazuga. Got quite a bit of shade from the date palms, which is good, and there's a really nice pool as well.
Which we're going to get in very, very soon.
That's right.